Alright, so I have covered my background as much as possible. Obviously, I will need to go over this again. I have also blended all the darker and lighter areas. Now I'm gonna go over it with a second layer and defining the facial features even further. And at any point, if I see anything is not really matching and lining up with my reference photo, I'm going to fix it as I go. So the headscarf that my grandma is wearing is actually slightly wider on this side, so I'm just going to make it wider. And now going back to the facial features, obviously there are way more lines on her face. I will need to go over it again and define these lines. And by the way, I did not mention about the ears just because her ears are covered, but what you can do is to draw a line from the bottom of the eyes, and that's usually where the ears start, and the bottom of the nose is where the ear ends. Again, some ears might be a little bit slightly taller, longer, and slightly shorter, but generally you can look at the different facial features and find proportions. So I'm going to go over some of these lights and shadows again. I'm going to follow the way that area is formed. So if it's a spherical form, I'm going to make more circular hashing. If it's like a tear shape, I'm going to create this tear shape and add more. Okay, now I'm going to blend as best as possible. Again, when I'm blending, I'm still following all those forms and shapes around the facial features and just try to mimic the shape of that tissue of that area. So all these laugh lines and wrinkles, try to be careful with them. So in a way, we are sculpting the face. And always keep looking at your reference photo and follow the light for the light areas. Keep in mind that for a full drawing like this, we're going to complete our entire background with our medium as well. So as you can see, I have already covered my background, and I will try to add some of the details in the background as much as possible as this portrait progresses. And when I'm taking a break from the face, I will go and work on the background. Alright, now I have blended a little bit of more white. I'm going to go back in with black now and try to define each facial feature with even more details. Things like all these lines around the eyes. It's not just one line, it's like two forms inside each other. So I'm going to take my time at this point, pay a little bit more attention, and add some more details around each facial feature. And so these are the details that will help your face to look like the person that you're actually trying to draw. And I'm going to add these shadows, all these wrinkles and lines. And at some point we don't go over and blend again, and we'll just leave these lines as they are. Pay attention to all the forms. You want to see how each line curves or flattens, and just follow it with your lines. I go over the eyebrows and anything that is lost. So if I pay attention, the eyebrows are pretty close to the corner of the eyes. Look at the distance. I check it again and make sure that it is matching my reference photo as much as possible. Now at this point, if you do have a gray pastel, use it for the grayer areas instead of using black and then blending it. That's going to be much easier. I don't have it, so I'm just going to apply less pressure with my black pastel and try to create these shapes as best as possible. But having a mid-tone between your black and white would be very helpful to create easier transitions and cleaner blending as well. So all these areas that are gray, like on the lips and some of the areas on the face, I will have to create gray. I'm gonna continue adding some more lines, especially where these wrinkles are and there's a deeper, darker shadow. And the areas that is gray, I'm just adding very slight pressure, not too much at all, just so I can add some lines, and I'm not going to blend all of these lines. Okay, now I'm going to blend the darker lines that I just added. I'm going to use a paper towel, and I have folded it so I can have nice edge. If you have a blending tool you want to use, feel free to use that. So now I'm going to again try to define each facial feature based on the light and shadows that I see, and I try to be careful and manage the amount of pressure that I'm applying even when I'm blending these. If it gets too darker, that's totally fine. I'll just go over it with another layer of white, and we will do this process as many times as necessary to get all the right kind of shades and light and shadows. So take your time for this stage and make sure that you get all the details as much as possible. So I'm going to continue blending all these, and I will show you the last stage for the final details. Now I'm going to go back in with white and adding some more details, and again defining some more features. These are the final details. So I am very happy with the facial features. Now I'm just noticing that, for example, on her eyelid, it's actually much lighter. So I'm gonna go over it and make it lighter. At this point, I'm not gonna blend these lines. I'm just going to leave them. And these are just the final touches. And I try to keep them as clean as possible. And any other areas that is supposed to be kind of highlighted and redefined because I blended too much and it was destroyed, I'm gonna go over it and make sure that I follow that. Okay, so I have blended one last time. I'm going to go back in and add some more details. Just remember to take a break in between each of these stages and actually take a look at your drawing from at least 3 feet away so you can see what you're doing and look at the big picture from afar and be able to understand if things are actually working or not. So otherwise it's easy to get lost in this process and you may not notice if what you're adding or taking away is actually making much of a difference. Okay, I'm gonna add some more details to the hair as well, and I'm going to finish making the headscarf slightly darker. Since this is the drawing of the portrait, I'm not going to put too much attention on the decorations and like other things in the background. The focus is mainly on the face, so at this point I think the face is pretty well done. I can go back and again check all the light and shadows, all these wrinkles, all the facial features, and make sure that I have covered everything. If there's anything else I need to add or remove, I will do it at this point, and I will sign my drawing and that will be complete at this point. So don't forget to add the light reflection in the eyes, and these final details I'm not going to blend, I'm just going to leave it just like that. Okay, so now I'm going to work a little bit on the hair. Make sure that you draw each strand from its root and how it's grown. And for the shine on the hair, again, you just follow the hair texture and the lines and folds, all of it. Make sure to use the corner of your pastel so you can get thin, nice, clean lines for this part. And at any point, if you feel like you're not sure how dark or light something needs to be, you can try the squinting technique. Squint your eyes, look at your reference photo, and then look at your drawing. Then everything becomes very clear if anything needs to get lighter or darker. All right, I think I'm done. Of course, I can continue working on this and defining more and going back and forth and adding more details, but again, for the purpose of this video, I'm going to sign this drawing and end it at this point. So I'm just going to sign it right in the corner here. There we go. I hope you have enjoyed watching this video and have learned how to draw a portrait using a reference photo. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.